Hi, sweet friends. It's Amy Lay, the Invincibility Coach. This video is part 3 of what I call the Rise of Invincibility. It's a 6-part series that I take all of my clients through, whether they're teams or individuals, and I am just doing a quick little video series to kind of introduce each concept. So we don't do deep dives because, again, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a part of a team, that like what your needs are. But this rise of invincibility is something that I use with everybody. So it starts off with trust, and then it goes to peace with disruption. And this video touches on confidence and consistency. Now, confidence can be a little difficult to define. Obviously, you can look it up, right? But when I work with my clients, I like to start superimposing similar words that I think kind of trip people up because they're thinking about all these different definitions. And I like to say, you know what, it's kind of the same thing, So in talking about trust, I say, well, instinct, it's kind of the same thing, right? Now confidence joins in, and I'm saying that confidence is very closely related to those things too. And you actually, in some cases, can just interchange the words, right? So confidence, before we get to consistency, confidence first. How do you have confidence? Well, there is a rise of invincibility, I believe. So I think that trust, which go back and watch the trust video, we want to look at that first, right? And then once we have peace with disruption, then it's time to really, really look at our confidence. And so I am one of those people that if you've watched my videos, you know this. I like to work the maze backwards. An example of that would be like, hey, where do you want to be when you're 85 or 90? Alive, first of all. Okay, so let's say you're alive at 85 or 90. What do you want your life to look like at that point? On all points, okay? And if you have an idea of what you think you want your life to look like at that age, then when are you going to start doing the things that are going to lead you toward that circumstance at that age? Okay? That's working the maze backwards, right? So with confidence, I like to look at it rather than building up, like, how do I get confident? How do I get more confident? Okay? I like to go, here's where I want to be with confidence. And all I need to do in order to get there is subtract self-doubt on the way to getting there. So in other words, rather than thinking about getting confidence like climbing a mountain, confidence is a balloon. And it's just going to keep rising and rising and rising. Like a hot air balloon, they've got the basket, right? And that basket is filled with self-doubt. You got to start throwing those sandbags overboard, right? Because when you do, you're going to start rising and rising. And using that hot air balloon metaphor, if you've got a basket full of self-doubt and you're like, let's see what happens if we throw this over, assuming nobody's down below and they're going to get conked on the head, right? This is a metaphor. Come on. So you drop a little sandbag out of the basket and you start to rise a little bit. Okay. That action that you just performed of like, you know what? I'm going to let a little self-doubt go. I'm going to believe in myself just a teaspoon, but it makes the balloon rise a little bit. And then you kind of are like, whoa, look what happens. The balloon rose, so now you can see a little bit more. You have a bigger vantage point, which gives you more courage because it gives you more information and it gives you more inspiration. And that makes you want to let a little bit more self-doubt go. So you let a little more go. Still higher. And then you let a little more go. Okay? Now, there is a sweet spot for everyone. If you go too high, you're going to freeze. That's what happens. You go too high in the atmosphere. It's happened before. to balloons. You don't really want that to happen, right? You just want to be at the perfect height. So that means actually that there does exist a healthy amount of self-doubt that's going to be in the bottom of your basket there that you're going to need to keep with you, okay? That self-doubt then, how about if we start calling it something different? How about a healthy amount of skepticism? You know what? It does not matter what you call it. We called it self-doubt at first because straight up that's what it was, because we were oversimplifying, and that's the deal. But once your balloon gets to a comfortable height where you're like, you know what, man, I got some awesome confidence. I'm not overly confident, right? Which means that you start to freeze, and we can go all over the place with that metaphor, right? But I don't want to get too far afield here. But understand that that is a way to look at confidence. Rather than climbing the mountain to get more confident, you already are confident. It's the balloon. You just have too much self-doubt in your basket. So little by little, don't go crazy, because you'll go too fast and you won't be able to adapt. And adaptation is important. Okay? So there's the confidence piece. Now consistency, well, whatever you found, and this is what I work with my clients to do. So there's not a magic bullet here. But whatever you find helpful in your journey of letting your balloon raise by systematically eliminating self-doubt, okay, during that phase, consistency is just keep doing it, right? It's maintaining that, because finding your sweet spot, just like in a balloon, like you have to land sometimes. That's just the truth, right? I mean, they don't stay up there forever for all sorts of reasons. So we can follow that metaphor, right? Sometimes you have to land. Sometimes you crash land, okay? But you know now, when you do that, it's like the depression dip we talked about before. They happen. It's part of it. Now you know how to rise again. Confidence and consistency. I love you guys to pieces. Peace out.